He was a big proponent of that stuff. That teacher, introduced me to rock and roll, the Beatles, Elvis, and comic books. So I'm really indebted to him for that. And so one of the comics that came in that group that he brought in for the kids was the one that I'm sharing, or you will share right now. That is Justice League 111. It had all these characters that I knew: Superman, Batman, the Flash, Aquaman, Green Lantern, and then some that I didn't know. Bright colors, great. The artwork was Dick Dillon and Dick Giordano. Then it had all the like Golden Age and Silver Age stories in there too, because this is those 60-cent giants. And this comic just lit me up. It's like, oh my God, this is where these TV shows come from. The Batman TV show and right. Superman, the Adventures of Superman, all that kind of stuff. And so that was it. That was the comic that got me going. Because then after I read that, then I went to my local like luncheonette in Long Beach, New York, and saw the spinner rack for the first time, and that's where I bought my first Fantastic Four comics and my first Amazing Spider-Man comics and all of that stuff. But it was all because of this one right here.
Oh, that will definitely do it.
Those, and then the introduction to the other comics as well. I just fell in love with comics, and I like to draw. I had been drawing before that, because I was a monster kid. I loved monster magazines and monster movies, so I would draw that kind of stuff. But this kind of like gave me a focus, because there was no money in drawing monster movie images, but yeah. I figured, what, somebody's getting paid to do these comic books, so it might as well be me.
I think the Justice League of America was brilliant, because if I had never picked up a comic before and was aware that there was a Batman and aware there was a Superman and Wonder Woman, but that was about it, peripheral, animated shows, TV shows, and I saw this book, I would just be, especially if what was inside was really good, I would pursue every single one of their individual books. You know what I mean? Like that, sure. Brilliant.
Oh, sure.
Well, I did. Yeah. Because the first thing I went out and bought was Action Comics, Detective Comics, Batman, and Superman.
Yeah. No Green Lantern?
Green Lantern wasn't being published then. He was a backup. He was a backup in the Flash.
Okay. See, I don't know my DC. My DC history is
same thing with Aquaman. He wasn't being published then either.
Okay, so these guys were kind of like guest stars.
Well, no, they were regulars in Justice League, but they didn't have their own book. I mean, Aquaman was I think a backup in Adventure Comics.
Adventure, yeah. Was that the Arrow stuff?
Well, it wasn't at this point. Perro, I think, was doing the Spectre at this point. But then when they canceled the Spectre and they brought Aquaman as the lead in Adventure Comics, that's when Aparo was doing that.
That was great stuff.
Yeah. And this title was just called Justice League of America. It wasn't like, because the thing that really still confuses me about DC Comics is like, you're looking for something, but it's really Star-Spangled Stories, and you think it's something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but this is JLA, Justice League of America.
Yeah.
It's weird. Marvel had some of those things too, like Journey into Mystery. Like they had titles, but they kind of ditched them pretty early on, right? So it's like, Thor got his own book pretty quick. Iron Man got his own book pretty quick. So those books existed at Marvel, but I don't remember them being around as long as the DC ones.
Well, Marvel didn't get rid of them and give those guys their own books until they got the new distribution deal in 1968, which allowed them to put more books on the stands. So that's when Tales of Suspense ended and Iron Man got #1, but Captain America kept the numbering. Captain America kept the Tales of Suspense numbering.
Right.
Yeah. Well, didn't the Hulk kept the numbering too?
Yes, Hulk kept the numbering of Tales to Astonish. And
that's what Hulk was called in the beginning.
What's that?
Yeah, because
Hulk was.
Hulk had 1 through 6.
Yeah,
right. And then it was in Tales to Astonish.
Right.
And then after Tales to Astonish went, they canned it. They just kept the numbering. So what was it, 101 or something like that? I don't remember.
Did
Yeah,
they
it was
do that with
awesome.
Doctor Strange as well?
Yes, Doctor Strange got
Uh,
a spin-off book.
Right, right.
Yeah,
Hey, I want to
he
handle
got a
this.
number one. He got Doctor
This
Strange got a number one.
I want to handle this comment. Uh, I have a lot of nerve pushing Black Flag. I'm tired of these artists stringing us along for years with nothing but empty promises and platitudes. Black Flag is there with death, 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 scam. Tobias, I'm looking forward to proving you wrong. If you would like to go and read the updates on the campaign or back the book and get them in your email box, you would understand what was happening and what was going on. So I really appreciate your comment. And I really, really look forward to getting it in your hands. Thank you. All right. Carrying on.
Hey,
real quick, I want to say, I think this issue of Justice League, because there were a few in the early 100s that Dick Giordano inked over Dick Dillon that I was just like, wow.
Who's
These
Dick
are just,
Dillon?
I mean,
the penciler. Yeah, he did a lot of Justice League stuff.
I've never see there you go. This is why I love our show.
Yeah, Dick Dillon did Justice League for years, for decades. Dick Dillon was the Justice League.
You know what? I never heard of somebody called Nick Cardy until we did this show. I know.
Well, so here's something else then for you, Dan. Dick Dillon. So the reason George Perez basically took over Justice League is because Dick Dillon passed away.
Really?
Yep.
Oh.
If Dick Dillon didn't pass away, I don't think George would have taken it over, or they would have offered.
Who
it
knows?
to him.
They would have put George.
Like
on
Grant
something.
said, Dick Dillon started Justice League when it was around Was it around the issue 60s or 70s or before?
Yeah, I was
that?
going to say somewhere around there because Mike Sekowsky was doing it.
Is this him on the cover?
No, that's Giordano, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I want to thank the JDC for the super chat. He says bought JLA 111 off the Racket Magic Market. That sounds like a cool place. And this came in earlier. Change it to the Gen X discount. That's what they should call it. I like that. No more senior discount. It's Gen X discount.
That's right.
Graham's like, but I'm not Gen X. Yeah, you are. You are. Doesn't it start in 60 or does it start in 63?
I thought we were boomers.
Starts at 65 because.
So you are boomers.
I'm boomer. Yeah, boomer goes to 64. My wife is the last boomer.
So Andy, Billy, and I are maybe Aaron.
No, Aaron's not.
Aaron's a boomer. Yeah.
Hey, let me just address Fritzy Schnitzel in the chat there. Why are Dan and Graham both streaming us? To increase the audience.
Yeah.
So we have crossover audience, but we also have different audiences. So this way it allows my audience to come over here and see it too, and it helps Dan's channel and vice versa.
Yep.
That's right.
It's
yeah, I clicked that button too. So we got some exposure tonight.
There it goes. I'm gonna have to learn how to get it on X. But Andy already told me I gotta buy the blue check.
I want to say something real quick. That cover, there's one thing. It's doing a disservice to that poor Barry Allen. That flash, like it's a red
on
red, and I'm like, what the heck? Every time I just glance at it, I'm like, there's a slot missing.
You know what? He's moving so fast, he's invisible.
You can't see me.
Oh, you mean the headshot underneath Batman?
Yeah, the little headshot on the side. Yeah. It blends with the background.
I want to buy this book, and guess what, Andy? Not on the hard drive. I know.
No, I didn't think it was. I own it, so it doesn't.
But that I love it because there's like a big giant, like, fill in that void. Here's some super chat money for Frega. Thank you. That helps pay for StreamYard, which is not cheap. I also backed. There's a new camera, you guys, coming out from Logitech. And
really?
It was I think it was an Indiegogo or a Kickstarter, one of the two. But it's made for artists and makers. So it basically has a base and goes over and looks upright instead of all this, jerry rigging trying to make other stuff work. This thing is
You should
designed
send us a
for
link
what
to
we
it.
do. I will. You know.
But I want to
all
ask
right.
Graham something, since Graham was around then. Is like the Justice League Justice Society crossovers. Were you like
Right.
I remember as a kid, man, I was geeking out. And there's that one where the Spectre, the two Earths are gonna collide, and the Spectre gets between them, like he's gonna be some kind of like mattress padding between the two Earths. Do you remember that? I think it killed them,
do.
right? It killed was it the Earth One or whatever Spectre? Yeah, I remember
do
that.
remember
Yeah, I shed a tear.
I like those crossovers. I've got the trade paperbacks of them.
That's what was cool about them was that that you had no idea that there was this silver age of comics, and
Yeah.
and then you got exposed to, like, the first Detective Comics I bought introduced me to Plastic Man by Jack Cole. You know,
Yeah.
It was so cool to see that, and then they would have like Golden Age stories too of Batman, and I love those, to see the differences in the style of drawing and the style of storytelling too.
Because the idea was that these are the older versions of like Superman and Batman, right?
Right.
So they exist in the continuity, but just on a different planet, right? So it's not even necessarily like it's a different timeline; it's a different universe.
Yes.
And I don't know, like everybody overthinks comics these days. I still think that's a genius idea. This upsets me.
Yeah. It's was Earth A or Earth A. Earth 1. Earth 1 is like
Earth
our
1.
modern day guys. Earth 2 was the Silver Age guys.
Right.
And Earth C was the Fawcett characters. So the Captain Marvel and Bullet Man and all those other Fawcett characters existed on Earth C.
I stand by that. I think that worked. I think it could still work in a contemporary way. I think Captain Marvel or Shazam does not work in the DC universe. I like the tone of the Fawcett stuff. Like some of that stuff just works way better the way it was originally designed for.
Yeah.
I think trying to make one coherent DC universe doesn't really work. And at the time, I applauded the Crisis because I think I was naive, like, oh yeah, this could take care of a lot of continuity problems and stuff like that. But looking back, I think it's just kind of a failed exercise.
Yeah, when Superman becomes public domain in 2034, I think it's 2034.
Wait, is it 34 or 38? How many years is it?
No,
100 or 90?
It's 34 or 35. It's not 38.
So it's not 100 years
no,
then?
it's not 100 years, no.
Oh, okay.
Because Mickey Mouse just came available, and that was 28. So
right.
95 years, something like that. At any rate, I would love to do a Superman of that universe that is the only super person on the planet.
Yeah,
that's what makes him interesting.
That
He's the only super person. That's what I loved about the TV show, The Adventures of Superman, is that there was only one Superman, and everybody knew him. But what about in a world where they don't know there's a guy who's super, and then he manifests himself and he shows the world, and all the distrust that's going to happen with that, and then he has to prove himself, and that's why he has a secret identity, so he can live a life. Because he was raised human, live a life in humanity, that kind of thing. That would be so much fun to tackle. And of course, he can't fly. I
was just about to say, remember, you can't make him fly.
No, he can't have his red boots. He's got to have, the stirrup boots. Or you design something different for his feet, But yeah, I think that would be. Oh, he couldn't work for the Daily Planet either. He has to work for the Daily Star. But there'd be some fun stuff to do with that.
Yeah, I think some of those, like Batman for me was always like one of those characters. I like him in just Batman stories. Like I just want to see. I don't want the DC universe because for me, like putting him in the DC universe also kind of cheapens him because then you have to artificially make him bigger and badder than he is. You know what I mean?
That is
because he's
true.
Yeah, he's next to Superman. He's next to Green Lantern. He's next to all these guys that can easily beat him, you know, no problem. And I always thought, like, when you start doing that, you kind of start cheapening other characters, and then you have to start writing them in a way that, like, Superman can't be Superman. You have to play him down so then Vixen looks cool, you know, or Jive, or what is it, Vibe, or Vibe looks cool, or Gypsy, or whatever. Some of those D
D-list
level
characters.
characters.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So for me, I liked comics. I collected comics. I didn't know you could do it as a job per se.
Yeah.
The first person who I recognized as an individual that had done comics was John Byrne. You know, it was because of this Marvel Universe Handbook number 5, and it seemed like all my favorite ones were drawn by this guy named John Byrne.
yeah.
They had like an index. You can go, why do I like this? Oh, that too is John Byrne. Oh, that too is John Byrne. You know, like, oh, this I like John Byrne. So from that, I found out about comic book shops, and I bought a bunch of back issues, but it was one image, one singular image that made me say, no, I got to do this I got to do this. And
well, I hope you're going to show us.
Is this?
Oh yeah.
This, I didn't buy number 1 of Dark Knight. I didn't buy it. The lightning bolt with the Batman jumping, that didn't, I went, oh, cool, a Batman story, right?
Yeah.
This made me go, back the fuck up, pick it up, and go, this is number 2? What the hell? What? And I just stood there in the shop going, you can do anything with superheroes? You can, no, I mean, seriously, you can tear their clothes.
No, I hear you.
You can beat Batman's face up. He looks gigantic. He's contained by the edges of the cover, and you know, he's bigger than the cover. He's all squished in there, and I remember.
Uh-oh.
He froze.
It's not me this time, folks.
Nope. It's him. I mean, I remember I bought these right off the stands when they came out. I still have the originals that I bought, you know, the original 4.
I sold them.
Did you?
Yeah, I sold them because the hardcover came out, and I bought that and got rid of the originals.
Man, mine are mine are so
cultivate a young.
They're all worn out.
There we are. We're back.
There you go.
My Wi-Fi went down.
Must be catching.
Yeah. It's weird. My
Wi-Fi down. Wi-Fi down.
Yeah. Hulk smash. But yeah, I remember showing this to my grandpa, and you know, he was born in 1917, so he was, you know, by the time Superman was out, he was already, you know, past all that, and you know, the guys he wanted to be like were guys like Milt Caniff. That's how I knew about Milt Caniff, was my grandfather. So when I showed him this, and I'm used, like Graham, like you said, you're used to this sort of idea of what Batman is. And for me, it was the Super Friends and the pajamas, you know, the you know, the running with the cape and the Taco Bell glass. That was Batman. This guy looked fallible, you know, like he looked like he took a beating, and that maybe he may not win, and like it just, this image shattered my brain, and there was so much. I couldn't describe it at the time. I'm only describing it in terms now that I can as an adult, but my 12-year-old brain was like, I didn't understand what it was, but this was everything, you know, like just the attitude of it. And I didn't even have to crack the story and read it. I flipped through it and was like, I like the way this looks. Do you have number 1? I had to buy a second print or third print or something. But
wow.
I literally had, like, this was it. This was it for me. I'm going to be right back, because I too need to reset my router, because now my Google's going down. So
Well, give us
guys-
the next question, and we'll start talking.
Yeah,
about
no, my brother's running it. So let me see. I can find one. Let's see. Because they started asking early on. Somebody asked about eggplant.
I hate it.
Yeah,
Eggplant's
yeah.
gross.
It depends on how you cook it, man. Like my wife could cook a shoe and make it delicious. So, it just depends. I know there was a question about when did you decide from being an illustrator and change gears from someone who wanted to draw pictures to someone who wanted to draw sequentially. What made
I
you
never
want to
wanted to be. I never wanted to be an illustrator. I
Me
always
neither.
want to
Well, you guys
do
carry on. I'll
storytelling.
be right back.
All right.
Yeah, no, I never. It never even crossed my mind. Actually, when I was at the Kubert School, and we would have to do assignments that dealt with like doing a cover or something, I never really liked them.
Mhm.
I mean, I like doing covers, but I rather draw paneled pages than a cover
Mhm.
or a splash page. And I think one of the reasons when I do covers, I try to make them, reflect the story in some way,
Right.
like they used to, is because I was like, okay, I can make this story oriented, not just a big splashy pinup or something.
Because the story or
Right.
the idea is what you were conveying on the cover, and that used to be the old mindset. That's how you're going to suck
Right.
people in
Right.
with a story idea. So I still think even illustrators, the best illustrators are the ones that can convey
Sure.
a story, even though it's like
Oh, yeah.
like a Frank Frazetta or something like that.
Mhm.
So I still think it, even though they seem seemingly different, I think like doing cover illustration stuff like that, whether it's a comic book or a novel. I don't know if they still do any kind of covers or even like movie posters. The best ones usually have some kind of story element, and if the artist is able to convey that in the best and the most eye-catching way,
Yeah.
and so I think they are kind of related.
They are. They just have less real estate to work in because they can't do it sequentially. They have to get story
Right.
elements into it. And it's the materials they use too, which is different, than pen and ink and
Right.
printed color. Those are great skills. And, I always said like maybe in my retirement, I'd start painting more so that I could just, focus on different things that isn't, storytelling related. But I like doing covers. I love, I constantly think when I do a cover, well, how would Gil Kane, Nick Cardy, or Joe Kubert handle this cover? If
Right.
I had elements of story I wanted to put into it, because those two guys,
Yeah.
those three guys, managed to steal a lot of money out of my wallet just on the covers, and then I'd look in the book and I'd be like, oh man, this sucks inside. I hated books like that where you get it and you're like, oh, look at this cover, and you open it up and it's like some, C-list artist in there, and you're like with a bad inker, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
no.
Some of the big betrayals for me as a kid was like if you had this nice painted cover, right, and you're kind of sucked into it, sucked in by it, and then you open the book and then it's pen and ink, and you're just like, I thought it was going to be like this, It's all
I remember when Charlton used to publish The Phantom, and their distribution was kind of shaky, so you wouldn't see
Right.
it every month. But at one point, I think it was George Wildman, might have been doing the drawings or something. I forget who it was, and he'd do these covers, and yeah, it looked like The Phantom, but they were boring looking. And then one month it comes out, and there's this painted cover by a guy named Don Newton.
Yeah.
And then I open up the inside. Then there's this moody, noirish black and white drawings, still on the shitty Charlton paper, but these great drawings by Don Newton. And I'm like, oh my God, this is cool. This is the Phantom. This is, I could see this guy doing Batman. And then all of a sudden, boom, he goes to DC and does Batman.
Yeah. Hey, do you guys remember? It was like it was a Marvel book, and I think John Buscema did it, and it was a magazine size, and it was like some kind of elf world or something, like they were
Weird World.
Weird World, and it was painted
Mhm.
Was that painted by John Buscema, or did somebody paint over John's pencil? Because the whole interior was like that, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Or
it was like blue line painting.
blue light
In fact, I
painting.
think Aaron owns a page from
Yeah,
him.
I'm trying to remember who did it though. Was it Marie Severin? Did she
No.
do it?
Because that blew my mind. I mean, I
Yeah.
didn't particularly care for the subject matter, but the drawing was so great, and
Yeah.
then just the production and the coloring. I was like, I'd never seen a comic like that before. And that's that looks like illustration to me, like that book. You know,
Right.
just the production values and everything. It was definitely higher up, I guess, on the production level as a normal comic would be.
I'm trying to remember. So it was Weird World.
That was the yeah.
I'm trying to remember who colored that then, because he didn't do the whole series. I think somebody else took over.
It was a series, or was it just a one shot?
Oh, it was from
Well-
from Marvel Premiere. It was called Weird World. Hold on, let me share this. Is this it, Art? Hold on.
Well,
Oh,
we
shoot.
can't share anything
Wait,
until.
Dave, can you
Well,
share?
actually, no.
Can you
His
share?
brother can. There it
Yeah.
goes.
Thanks. Dave.
No, they were like, it was a magazine size, and they were like those are elves, but
Yeah.
gosh, what the hell was it called?
Yeah, but that might have been a reprint. What you're showing there, it originally could have been
Right.
magazine, because
Yeah,
I
the
think I have that trade.
kind of looked familiar.
Let's see if it tells you who did it. Name, okay, look, creators and appearances. No, that's not it. That's 2015. That's the wrong one.
Oh, by the way, Dick Dillon
Dummy.
did Justice League from issue 65 to 183.
You know,
Wow.
Where's Aaron when you need him? He would know this.
I think I
Like
have
I said,
the
I
trade. Let me
think Aaron
look.
has a piece of original art from it.
I think you're right. Yeah, I don't see it under Weird World. I'm going to type in John Buscema.
No, it's not ElfQuest.
No. It was around that time, though.
Yeah.
It says it was Steve Olaf. Hey,
Yeah.
Art, does this look familiar?
That sounds about right.
Does that look familiar?
We'll show the characters. That's
Somewhat, but I think they are the same elf character, like the sexy little girl.
There it is,
Yeah.
yeah. It is. It's Buscema.
It's Buscema, inked by Marie Severin, and colored by Steve Olaf.
Okay. All right. There you go.
But it is
Wait, so
it is
Marie
blue line.
Severin inked it.
Yeah,
It's
that's
blue.
what it says.
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
I don't believe you.
Well, too bad. I can show you the credit page.
I wish I could share it. Yeah, it's called Weird World. Oh, I just had the image. I can't.
And look
share.
at the proportion. You can tell it was a magazine because look at the dead space at the bottom.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
that's not comic book proportion like the reprint, because
Right.
it's reprinted in this trade.
You know, when they do stuff like that, I think it's that empty space is kind of whack. But if you were to put like hire an artist to do something thematic down there,
Right.
you know, it could be fun.
Or have
See, look, you've
characters
got
on
the
your
original
face,
art.
You flip it, they run.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. That's it
Yeah.
for sure, Andy. Yeah, because I
Well, then go get it, Art. Nice and cheap.
I have the original somewhere around here. I never got rid of it. I think it was like square bound. I think either that or it was magazine, but it was oversized. It was bigger because I got it off.
Yeah.
Like, remember, like Marvel, they had the racket in the store, but then they also had their magazines. They were over there with like Time and Playboy and all those other things, and wrestling magazines and the Monster magazines and all that stuff. Yeah.
It was originally printed in Epic Illustrated. That's why. That's the magazine.
Epic Illustrated. Okay, there you go.
Yep. There you go.
So Victor Shade says Marvel Comics Super Special 11. I wonder what that was.
Super special.
That could have
Here's
been a
Marvel
there's
Super
some Mike Glugan here as well.
Yeah.
Hey, Dan, by the way, Dick Dillon drew Justice League of America from issue 65 to 183. 3.
Holy shit, that's a run.
There might have been a couple fill-ins, but overall, he was the guy.
Wow, that is a run on a run, man. Holy smokes.
Yep.
Holy smokes. Why my comments aren't loading loading when a new one comes, it just is stacking and it says new comments. Very strange.
You know, when you type in super special, the Kiss comic comes up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, add a number 11 to it.
Oh, that's weird. When I look up super special, pictures of Richard Simmons pop up and
Oh, stop.
Paul Lynn.
Paul Lynn.
We are family. Yeah.
We
So
are
what
family.
were we I know what question are we dealing with? Are we dealing with the what made you want to tell stories?
I think we.
Well, did you want to do
we-
stories or illustration?
Yeah, for me, I mean, I like drawing, and of course, I was hit over the head with illustrations. You know, some Zach G.I. Joe covers, Rick Leonardi's. It was his Cloak and Dagger that really hit me. Yeah, that hit me over the head with beautiful inks by none other than Terry Austin. But what attracted me to comic books the most was necessity being the mother of invention. When you're a kid who is in, you know, I don't knock at my parents. They kept us fed and healthy and all that, but we didn't have a lot of stuff. And when it came to anything that we wanted in additional to like clothes on our backs and food, we had to go kind of make it happen for ourselves. So what comics represented to me was a pencil and a piece of paper is so inexpensive, and you can have a world and you can control it. You know what I'm saying? It's like people that love their Legos and build these Lego sets. Well, if you can't afford a Lego set or didn't have it or didn't have all the G.I. Joes you'd want, you would draw scenarios. Like that's what my buddies and I did. We would draw Star Wars scenarios and G.I. Joe scenarios. Just because we didn't have the toys, but we made the scenarios on paper, and it was cheap. That's essentially what took me that way. And then, of course, I got bit by the storytelling bug. I read Manara all day.
Yeah,
I'll bet you did.
Yeah, Manara all day. To that super chat. What about you guys, Manara or Serpieri?
I like Monera.
I like
Milo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
Hey, share
I
my
mean,
screen because this is where
Yes.
going backwards. This is that Marvel Super Special number 11 that somebody had in the chat had said. So this was the first appearance of
that looks
the,
like Elf
of the
Quest.
Weird World.
And I just posted in the private chat a link for
Yeah.
the interiors. This is really painted. This is on the interiors. It's John Buscema, Rudy Nebrez, and then I can't remember the painter's name, but I mean it is really heavy compared to like the Steve Olaf stuff.
I think that's got to be the one that I remember.
That's what you're thinking of, I think, Art, because I've never even seen this stuff before either.
This stuff, yeah, I'm looking at the link you popped in there. That's Buscema, huh?
Yep.
Wow.
Nebrez and then Peter something is the
Oh, dude, I love. There was when
Peter
I was
Ledger.
a kid. When I was a kid, there was a book. You guys might remember. It was called Pilgrim's Progress. You remember that at all?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Man. Anyway, it was great, but it was before I ever read Lord of the Rings. And what I liked the most about it was the idea of that they had a map. So when you were when you're reading it and you go, oh, he's traveling southeast, you know, like it. So here's the book Graham brought up, and Andy was so kind to send the link to. Warriors of the Shadow Realm, $1.50, a Marvel Weird World super special in the fantasy tradition of Tolkien. So mind-boggling 3-page color fold-out. Look at that Buscema, man. I'm sure at the time, when you're used to seeing flat color, this must have looked magical.
It blew me away, man. Yeah, it blew me away.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course you get this map. And then we get in here. So conceived, written by Doug Munch or Munch. How do you say his name?
Munch, isn't it?
Mensch.
Mensch.
Okay, designed. Mensch. Oh,
He's a Mensch.
Yeah, we both did it. You owe me a
Yeah.
soda pop. Okay, so drawn by Big JB John Buscema and inked by none other than Rudy Nebres. And Peter Ledger did the painting on it. John Costanza, that's a familiar name. Additional calligraphy by Herb Cooper and Tom the Man Orzechowski. One of the greatest letterers. Look at that. Holy smokes, man.
Yeah,
That's three-dimensional.
Yeah.
Hey, Dan, instead of unless you like clicking the arrow at the bottom,
Yeah.
if you click the X at the top right-hand corner,
yeah,
and then click all pages, you can just scroll.
Where all pages.
Go to,
Booyah.
yeah, click that,
There
and
we
now
go.
you just
Thank
scroll.
Thank you.
It's a little bigger. There you go.
Yeah.
The weird thing about this, when I got this thing, you know, I was like, yeah, this is fantastic.
There.
But I like the subject matter. I was like, these are little elf people.
Yeah, I'm the same with you. I never liked that subject matter. As gorgeous as, you know, JB's work is, you know, it's like, I don't like this shit. You know, I never liked Lord of the Rings, you know.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, I'm with you, Graham. I was never a big Lord of the Rings guy. I saw the
Yeah,
movies, but I saw them once, and I was like, yeah, I'm good.
I went back to the Bakshi Tolkien stuff. That's you know, I wasn't a reader of Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, but I watched the Bakshi films, which, you know, the song Frodo with the 9 fingers, like it creeped me the fuck out. But I liked this sort of idea of other worlds, you know, discovering other worlds and stuff.
I didn't like those nasty hairy feet, those big fat hairy feet.
I know, dude.
I want to thank everybody right now. We have a combined total of 420 people watching. So if you can do us a favor and put this out to your homies on whatever you're on, let them know that you're enjoying our conversations. You're dealing with some comic book royalty legends combined here. Just Art Taber alone is 200 years. I mean, you know what I'm saying? No, it's a beautiful thing, and I think we live in a wonderful day and age. This is the kind of thing I would dream about as a kid, just hanging out with other like-minded folks talking comics, and you guys are top notch. Pleasure to call you my bros. And that's why we have the professionals. Today we're missing 2 of our bros. They're out doing the Lord's work in San Diego. Billy Tucci has his special San Diego Comic-Con edition with the Tick. Aaron Lopresti's out there as well, and you can find him at his regular spot if you're used to seeing him. If not, just look for Art Adams and you're in Adam Hughes. You're going to find him right there. And they're out there having a good time and spreading the good word of comics and getting everybody excited like we are. Speaking of excited, this is just lush.
Now, here's the thing. I don't know if these were, I think these were colored. I think these were colored on their original black and white art. I don't think these were blue line.
So you think Rudy painted over the color work?
Rudy didn't paint them. Rudy didn't paint them.
No, Rudy inked over the painted work is what I'm trying to say.
No, I think it was painted over the inked work.
Yeah, because see this dude's foot where he's jumping. Did I pass it?
Yeah.
Yeah, where he's jumping. Look at how the color overlaps right there.
Yeah, it fades. Yeah, they do that digitally now, but yeah, you're right.
And there's such a nice synergy of this watercolor as well, because these are ink lines, but these, unless it's like a hard yellow wash over them, they look like they're done in green. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know the process, but this is beautiful stuff. I like the idea of, like, you know, it's just a smidge off. Like, this is a fish. It's probably delicious, but I've never seen one like it. Look at that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think the backgrounds and landscape, like, I don't care about the whole elf type thing, but from the art standpoint of the imagery of the backgrounds, the trees, the creatures and stuff, I'm going to actually look for this magazine.
Yeah.
It's
Also,
just,
just
I'd
like
like to
when I
own
was-
it.
when you're a kid and you're looking at the details, like, why is this so different? Also, there's no like hard borders, around
Yeah.
Right.
images and stuff like that. So it's
Except that one.
no.
Yeah, right.
It
Exactly. Yeah.
it goes in and out of
Damn.
like some hard borders and some not. Yeah.
Can you guys see my mouse when I'm mousing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Look at freaking color just here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know
Really?
what you're saying, Art. Like, when we're kids, I brought it up earlier. When we're kids and we witness this stuff for the first time, we just know it hit us. We don't know why. As an adult now, obviously we go, oh, it's this and this and this and this and this, but it's alchemy, man. It's fucking magic. These guys are, slamming these elements together and just blowing us away.
Yeah, Andy, you're right. It is inked over the line because that border, you can see it where like that sun or whatever it is.
The
Oh,
airbrush.
yeah.
You can see the
Yeah, you
airbrush.
can see it colored over. Yeah.
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 So I don't think
Yeah.
I think the colorist was probably dictating quite a bit of the style here.
What year was this? Somebody was asking if it was the 80s.
No, it's
let's
before that, or
Yes.
maybe
let's go back and see
late
the
70s.
Indicia.
Let's see.
Indicia
79, I think.
79. Good job, Grant,
Yeah.
man.
Oh, close enough.
that's the
See,
year
but-
Graham graduated high school.
Nope. 80.
Did
Oh,
you
you're
really
an
wait? Did you
Oh.
really graduate in 80?
I did.
You're giving me context now because that's the year I went into 7th grade. Or not 7th grade, 2nd grade. I was
Oh.
7. Yeah.
Well, I
So-
graduated the year this came out then, so this is 79. Yeah. So we are
Kilgre's here.
classy.
Marcus is here.
Yeah, we are classy. We are
Marcus is-
What's
fine.
up,
We're the
Marcus?
class of 79. Yeah. That was our slogan.
You guys should get Greg Hildebrandt on. It's funny you say that because that one image I was circling, that, as the kids would say, I hate this phrase too. It's giving Hildebrandt vibes.
Yeah.
This one right here.
Yeah.
Well, then if you
Gorgeous.
want to go back further, you just go, well, it's Maxwell Parrish. Like you
Yeah,
can,
there you go.
you
Right.
can always find
Look at
somebody.
that.
But Greg
Dude,
Hildebrandt's in the hospital right now.
Is he
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, he's
hope he
very,
gets
very, very, very sick.
Prayers up for
Oof.
him. Holy smokes! You guys know what's
Yeah.
going on?
I
No,
don't.
he just posts images of him like in the hospital, and he's got all these wires and tubes hooked up to him. So yeah, prayers.
He's
Really?
He's usually at that New Jersey con,
Right.
and he wasn't there because he's in the hospital. So, and then somebody came up to me and told me he's not doing well. Did you have him as an instructor, Andy?
No,
Oh, okay.
no, he wasn't.
I had
there.
him. I had him for a painting.
Wow, lucky.
Yeah.
I had Rowena Morel for painting.
Oh, okay.
I had
Yeah, this is completely.
Barbara
Go ahead.
Minimum, Barb Minimum, and Barb Littlefield. Those were my high school art teachers, and they did not. They liked me, but they didn't like me. If that makes sense.
Because you drew comics.
That's correct.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm going with Vess.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
no knock on Bolton. I love Bolton. But I'm going with Vess on that one. Thank you for
Same.
the super chat. Yeah. Coming back into good vibes. Look at that little elf dude. He's so you feel like you could reach in and grab him. It's so three-dimensional. And especially for 79, how many other books were coming out like this other than like cover stuff like heavy metal? How many other things look like this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Well, there's 3 issues of it because it
Yeah,
goes up to
there's
issue
3.
13.
And
Oh.
these originals have to have like they're painted, right? These originals are fully painted
Mhm.
pages.
And I wonder see, look at that painting right there on this tree. Unless he's going over with a yellow that's turning the black green, this looks like somebody came in with green, like, Rudy did the green. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it looks like an opaque, a gouache or something was put over
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, or it could be a transparent sort of greenish yellow over the black, which is turning it green.
Interesting.
Look at the composition on this. Cha cha. Boom, boom. Same with this. It just doom, doom.
And
Hey,
just
Dan, real quick.
Yeah.
Share my screen because I think I found the answer to why it has that greenish look.
Do it.
This is from another issue,
Oh,
and I don't think they converted this to color. I bet Rudy was inking it with green ink.
really?
whoa, interesting.
Well, think about it, because if it was black ink and then the guy who's painting it does, watercolor, gouache, whatever, the black might still overpower it. But if he inks it like this, if this is the actual ink color he used, and then you paint over it, it's almost like when Jack Davis would do his own painting color. He always inked with sepia,
Sepia,
not
right.
black.
Right. Because it
So if you
lays the
color over
form
top
down.
of this, depending on what the color, a lot of the line work could get wiped away.
Can you zoom in a little on that?
Yeah.
That guy's just a relaxing guy with a bird and mushrooms and a toad.
Look at those great ink lines, though.
Yeah.
Look
I
at
know.
that tree.
Yeah. Those Filipinos had the comic business in a chokehold back then.
Yeah, they did.
Look at that.
They were bringing a new game to town.
I
Yeah.
know.
I
Just
could-
look at the grass and everything.
Yeah,
I mean,
look at that grass.
This is issue 3.
this is
This is
issue 13.
Dude, I need this whole freaking run.
Is it just
So
me,
do
or
it.
is there some wash in there? There is like a gray
There is. Because
tone.
look at the
Yeah.
armpit, his armpit versus the ink on his arm, and look at the black on it under his legs is really, really dark. Whereas some of the green on the hat is
So I think it's just like with an ink wash with black ink. He's just watering down in certain areas because
right.
since I can see the screen better, since it's right here, it's all green.
Yeah.
None of it's black.
Really?
oh,
like
so
that
that's
kneecap.
black.
His right kneecap at the very top.
No,
right
it's all
above the
green.
chest.
Everything is
Green?
green. The darkest area on here is green.
It
Wow.
looks. Yeah, it looks.
So I bet he's just watering it down in specific areas for the lighter line.
Yeah.
That's a
Somebody
lot of
somewhere-
communication between him and
Yeah.
the painter, though. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a lot of
Exactly.
communication.
Somebody somewhere came up with that method and said, this is how we're doing it. Marcus Kilgrew, thank you for sharing Oodles and Doodles and other stuff. RT Bear's book, which is on Indiegogo.
Yeah.
Of course, you can get it. It's a new version. I'm taking this from you, Art. It's a new version. The older version, if you want to get it, is on eBay. You're going to pay over $100 for it, though. This
Yeah.
one, especially when it hits those the goals on there, you're getting extra new stuff that hasn't been seen before. You're getting the new premiere version of Oodles of Doodles, and you heard that from Couch Doodles.
Yes, a lot of doodling going on here. Yeah, it's 60 pages, you guys. I've been talking with my wife. We're looking into numbers, and we may be adding some new pages as stretch goals very, very soon. So stay tuned for that. Yes.
Glitch says
I'm gonna
the
go.
newer
I'm gonna
version-
try and find. I'm gonna try and find this page in the book now.
Is it? Wait, the one you sent me, is that everything or just issue 1?
No, that's just one.
What?
So just go to the top and do the drop down and do issue 12 and then issue
Okay,
13.
well, I've never been to Zip Comic before. This is my new happy place.
Oh, dude, it's better than Read because there's no pop-up ads.
The Read Comics online, man. That drives me crazy.
Oh.
Those pop-ups.
Yeah, and it takes you to another tab.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
Exactly.
this site doesn't have that. But Dan, go back to 11 because at the very end of that one, it has some of John's sketches and stuff. And there's
to
this
11.
like,
11.
yeah,
Take it to
there's like this,
11. Yeah,
there's like this executioner dude that's cartoony. It's awesome.
it's near the end. Oh, hey, hold on. I love this one. It's very colorful.
Here,
Let's
I'll let
see.
you.
Yeah, present.
So did Yankee Frankie grow up in California? Because isn't Cal Worthington, wasn't it Go See Cal? That's a California.
That's Pussy Cow, by the way. I don't know what you're calling it. Go See Cow. It's Pussy Cow.
No, he was a used car salesman, right?
I know. If you want a car or truck, go see Cal.
Go See Cal.
Oh my God.
If you're feeling out of luck, go see Cal. And they go, it's Cal Worthington and his dog Spot. And he'd be wrestling a grizzly bear. Or fighting a
or
tiger.
he'd be riding through the parking lot on a yak or something.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
gotta love local car commercials.
Oh, they're so good. Keys.
We
That's
had
hilarious.
Cal,
on. They're
no,
nice.
wasn't there? There was like Cal Stereo. There was Cal, all kinds of different outlets.
There was Crazy
Cal
Gideon. And then Frederated.
Frederated, yeah, Frederated.
Look at how gorgeous this is, man. Like the flow of everything.
Oh, that's
Because-
all Rudy, isn't it?
Is it? Oh, knowledge
even
of
his
the
That
eye.
page looks like it.
I don't think that's.
Oh, it
Johnny.
is. It is. It says Rudy. Yeah. Yeah, he may not have colored it, but this is pretty damn fab. You said it's near the end? Oh, here
Yeah,
we
keep
go.
going.
What lurks ahead? What head lurks?
Dude, that page I just showed you isn't in this stupid issue. What the hell?
That guy
This is
coming in the
cool.
doorway looked like Stromboli from Pinocchio.
Yeah, these are great. You could tell he was loving this.
They all were.
Oh, yeah.
Look at the amount of attention and detail going into all this stuff.
Yeah, just the extra care. Because if this was like a superhero comic like Thor, you would have got that line, but not all of this business.
Mhm.
Oh, it's so lush. And
Look
the
at that. Look
cartooniness,
at that.
the cartooniness it's just so good.
He's so
Yep.
talented.
Yeah. You know, she cooks babies in ovens.
That's
Wait,
right.
What?
She
What?
well, she
There you
just
go.
looks
Look at
like-
that dude.
Which guy? The
Yes.
executioner.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of
Skinny
Jack
leg.
Davis going on. Like like Hollywood Jack Davis.
Yeah.
You know.
So great.
Hey, who was the guy that did the fairies book? And Brian Froud.
Proud. Yeah. And his
Proud.
kid Toby was the kid Toby was the baby in Labyrinth. Who
Yeah,
then
but he did all the stuff for the Henson Group, right?
Yes. Look at that.
Look at the hippies.
Look at that.
Look
Rudy,
at
dude.
check out Art of Roy's comment about how
Hold
it was done.
Hold on, I'm trying to find it.
Oh,
Just read Rudy inked this book twice, once over the
twice. Once over the pencils.
And then he inked it again
Oh.
over the painting.
that makes total sense.
Well, that's what I was
Uh,
saying earlier, that he was inking over the painting. So you think it goes
So
back
the-
and forth, though?
So it's two. So he probably did the green pass, got it colored, and then did the black pass.
Man, that is a lot of like teamwork and getting on the same
Look at
page.
these guys, though. Look at Rudy's the only guy that seems like he had a bad lunch. You
That's
know,
because he
Dude,
inked the
Rudy,
thing
the
twice.
thing is,
Yeah,
the
that's
thing
right,
is, as
Graham.
old as Rudy is now, he still looks
Yes.
like that. Like I could tell
He
that's
does.
Rudy.
Hey,
Oh, is he still
Tagalog-
alive?
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, he's still around. Him and Nino, man, so good.
Yeah, Nino is great.
Nino is really good. I got to go out to dinner with him and his wife at some
Oh,
show.
cool.
So generous, man. And he does a lot of stuff you don't know. Like he works for Disney, he does all kinds of like atmospheres, environments, character
wow.
designs. All like what was that one? Pirate. It was based on the oh my gosh, what was it called? Treasure Planet, I think. He did a bunch of design work for that movie. It's Dan.
So you know
Frozen.
the other interesting thing about this, if you look at the credits, you know they do credits usually in order of work, and it's John Buscema, Peter Ledger, the painter, and then Rudy. So,
Well, Peter did. They all did like a ton of work on this book, man.
well, let's be real. John was probably like, "How many pages you need? I get this done for you in a week."
Yeah.
You know, he wasn't doing full pencils. Not when you got Rudy and this guy doing this painting. John's
Yeah.
like, I can get this done for you.
I like the colorist is really smiling because he hasn't been beat up by the industry yet.
No, you
Yeah.
can tell.
And the irony is John Buscema's smiling.
Yeah, that
well,
Yeah.
no, because dude, he's got like, can you imagine J-Bot? What up, J-Bot? Will Perdomo just mentioned you via text. That's where my eyeballs were. What up, Art Jedi? This book is called Warriors of the Shadow Realm.
Shadow Realm.
And
Well, it's actually Marvel Super Special number 11 if you want to try and search it.
so let's write that down again. Say that again. Marvel Super Special.
Number 11.
Super Special.
Because Graham might know it's either 15 or 16 is the Star Trek movie adaptation.
Oh, so this wasn't
Oh.
just an ongoing Buscema story. This was almost like their heavy metal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. This was only 11, 12, and 13.
So it's just 3 issues. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, because the
Dude.
first issue, like Art said, the first issue of this is Kiss,
Okay.
where they supposedly put their
I might
blood
have
in the
missed
ink
that
and all that
part
crap.
when I was rebooting. Getting my boot down. Who's this guy?
Getting your booty.
Doug Mensch.
Yeah, that's
Look at
me.
that.
Look at that hair. Did he have hair like that when you knew him, Graham?
Yeah, well, it wasn't quite that long.
That's it. Dude, I would hang out with people like him when I was a kid.
Not if you met him.
Because there's no? Oh, okay.
Shit.
Graham was
Yeah.
just about to say the guy doesn't shower.
Listen, oh, you're talking about the sense. Look at Stan back here. And
Yeah.
Shooter.
Yeah.
Jesus,
Yeah.
Shooter was a gigantic giant.
Yeah.
He's like 6'6", I think.
Wow.
Yeah, dude.
Not anymore. Not anymore. Yeah, but it was.
No.
I mean, it was great seeing him at Heroes. Jim's a legend. You know, a super duper legend. We got 490 people watching, which is really great. Thank you guys for simul streaming. I'm gonna learn how to get those Twitter folks going.
Hey,
By paying for a check.
Dan, if you want to go to issue 12,
Yeah.
at the very back of it, they go through how it was made and they show his pencils. They show what Rudy does, then the painter, then back.
What?
And yeah,
What?
go to issue 12 and just get to page 41.
Okay. Skip to page 41. Here we go. I'm presenting yet again. That is a-okay.
Like a
What's up?
peacock, you're always presenting, Dan.
Yeah, that's what I do with it.
Show those colorful feathers, my friend.
Kaka. Neighbor. Hey, did you read my subheading underneath my name?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, we are.
We are.
Family. All right, here we are. Okay, Warriors of the Shadow Realm from Marvel Super Special, Marvel Comics Super Special. Look at that cover. That's pretty damn
Oh, there's
cool.
I mean, if you want to go through the whole thing, there's a great 2-page spread of the interior of this
Yeah,
guy's
dude.
like
I mean, oh,
abode. But
tasty stuff.
I love the
Yeah.
making of stuff in the back.
See that it's John cartooning, which is really, it thrills me. Cartooning artists are on the top of all my lists. They are the best.
Oh, it's so good.
Look at that great perspective shot of the shadow pointing at the
Yeah.
background figures. He was
Just
so
the
good.
color
the
he used
color
in it, too.
choices. Yeah. That's like some Bob Peak type level shit. It's good.
Hey, what was
All right,
that?
we're
that
getting
movie-
oh man.
What was the movie that Jim Henson did that had all like the elves in it and stuff like that? What was that called? And
I know what you're talking.
Dark Crystal. Dark
Dark
Crystal.
Crystal. I wonder
Yeah.
which was first.
Yeah.
Like if maybe this gave birth to that, like gave him some ideas, because there's a lot of similarities. Because I think that movie has like a male female elf that go on some kind of adventure.
Okay. Yeah, and
Dark Crystal was in.
you know,
Wasn't Dark Crystal in the 80s?
Yeah.
Maybe not. I
Adam
don't know.
Post.
Then that would be after this. Hey,
Yeah, it's Adam Post.
That is
Hey,
so
Adam. Haven't
Been
seen him in a
forever.
long time.
good to see you.
I see you, Adam Post.
So good to see you, man.
We hear
Yeah,
you.
so here we go. We're getting into it. Original pencil page as drawn by John. Rudy Nebre's inks foreground elements in black ink.
He changed.
Man.
It looks like he changed the drawing on that wolf in that first panel in that last tier.
This here, yeah.
Yeah, it
But
looks
I mean,
more.
dude, I mean, come on. This is a great face, but this is a great face.
Yeah.
Look at that. Rudy came in and did his thing, and then, you know, I don't know how I feel about the colors on this. That kind of killed what Rudy did. You know, but maybe it's supposed to.
Well, I think that's a rich tradition of like a colorist destroying an inker's line.
Oh, yeah, it's started way back then. That's great. Look at these, man. These look like turn of the century. Oh, maybe they are.
It is. Go to the top. It says something like the history of illustration or something when this section
Okay.
starts.
Hi, big girl. Hold on. I gotta turn off the camera, sweetheart. I gotta hold on, guys. I have my mic on, but not my cam.
Okay. Hey, it's
Yeah,
Art Bear.
Dan turned into me.
Oh,
I don't
Or
care
you,
for
Dan.
that
Wait a
lettering.
second.
You never
I like
see us
that
in the
lettering.
same room together.
We don't.
Yeah, and it'll never happen. Yeah, so it looks
Darn
like
it.
this is what inspired like maybe some of the illustrations of the book.
Yeah.
You have met Andy. She's Sammy's saying, I've met Andy, I think. And I'm like, you have.
Yeah.
She's very smart. Very, very smart young lady.
I think that's the only one, Matt.
Yeah, it's true. But that's Artie Bear. You'll meet him one day, and one day you'll meet Graham.
Yeah. I saw a picture of you two together in one of your posts. Man, she's getting big. She's growing up.
I know. It's crazy.
Yeah, I was surprised because I think the last time I saw her, she was just this little thing, and now she's looking more older, wiser.
Yeah, man.
Older, wiser.
The kids are growing too fast. The only places I see my age are in my children and in the mirror. You know what I'm saying?
There you
Every
go.
other place. I'm working on the body part. I'm back in the gym trying to make Graham Nolan proud.
Oh, you back up early in the morning hitting the gym?
Yes, I am. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. And we did some beastly cardio today. We do 10 on rowing, 10 on elliptical, and 10 on the stairs. And the stairs are the worst. They're literally, especially in this Georgia humidity.
Wait, you do them all the same day? You go 10 rowing, 10 stairs, and then 10. What was the other thing?
30. I mean, it's only
30 minutes of
It's
cardio.
only
Yeah, 30 minutes of cardio.
elliptical.
different-
It's only 30 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh shit. Matt Yackey's in the house. Look he has something to say.
Oh, damn.
Oh,
Yeah.
shots fired.
Shots fired. He ain't wrong. He ain't wrong. Matt
Well,
Yackey
he's
getting
wrong when
some
it
love.
comes to me. When he comes to me, he's wrong.
Yeah.
Across
Well,
the
I
bow.
know. RT Bear's a savage. He's
Hey, I take a lot of pride in it, and I can still remember there were 2 deadlines that I missed in my entire career. That's it.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was because you hit a pedestrian chasing the FedEx truck.
No.
A motorcycle kickstand hit you and just spun you around and
Yeah,
dragged you across the concrete?
Yeah.
Took your eye out.
Actually, what it was is like in the day you had 3 issues in the can, right? That was the rule, right? So
Right.
I'm on
Yep.
Adventures, I'm on Adventures of Superman, and I'm kind of slowing the process down. I didn't miss any deadlines. I was slowing the process down. So then Mike Carlin was very fair guy, and he said, He said, you got to pick up the pace. If you don't, we're going to get a fill-in in here. And
Oh no.
and then he said, who's your favorite inker? I said,
Nah.
No, Dick Giordano. I'm sorry, Dick Giordano. He goes,
Oh
okay,
yeah.
that will be your fill-in. And then
Oh shit.
then I did. I was slowing down. And
Hey,
so
hey, my
the next
brother. I'm sorry, Art, to interrupt you, but I have to take this hit. My brother, who's running things backstage, chin checked me and said, "We only do 5 minutes on the stairs."
So you do 10, 10, and 5?
No, we do 5, but it's 20 floors. 20 floors or 5 minutes. But they beat us. They beat us down. I feel like puking afterwards. But anyhow. But yeah, Artie Bear, you're a beautiful man.
And then the other one was Bobby Chase. And Bobby Chase, I'll tell you right now, was a very unfair person to work with. And she,
Really?
for some reason, she just didn't like me. And so she kept upping my deadline. And then she'd go, well, when am I going to get pages? I go, because she's one of those people that would force you into something. And then you go, well, tomorrow. And then she go, okay, tomorrow it is. And so then, like, sometimes things don't work out, right? But they give you an overall deadline, right? They said the book has to be done by this. But what she was doing is giving me daily deadlines. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't think that's fair to do.
You
And
know what?
so then I started, like, I wouldn't make all of them. Then she's like, you're a liar. And I can't work with liars.
Shit.
And so then I got canned and Scott Hanna came in.
So what book was that you were doing for Bobby?
That was that big when the Marvel stuff came back from Image. What was that called?
Oh, Heroes Reborn. Oh, Ink and Salvador LaRocca.
Yeah, LaRocca, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, man, there was a lot of pride in that work, and I was doing a ton of extra stuff.
I'm not going to defend her because I don't know the whole story, but I've worked in corporate situations where I've been able to get a full understanding of things that used to make me scratch my head. She could have been getting heat in some way, shape, or fashion in an editorial meeting, and that's how she came back, is like overcorrecting. You know, some
whatever
like,
it was really intense.
Not fair. It was not fair.
It was really coming down on me, and I was just like, listen, I got my overall deadline. You know, the pages are coming in. I do understand you need, pages to work with the letterer and the colorist and all that other stuff. But, I haven't missed a deadline. And then she goes, you have. And I go, what? Those daily things you give me? And she's like, yeah.
Shit.
I'm like, oh, fuck. This is not fair.
You have. And then Art comes back with, those daily things.
Yeah, those daily deadlines. Because she was just
You mean those daily deadlines I pay no attention to?
No, I was making the deadlines. I mean, but some days, like, it wouldn't come in. But I mean, okay, I need this page by this time, whatever. But it was unreasonable. It was completely unreasonable. Right. I'm a professional. I would, make the deadline no problem. But what she was asking was completely unreasonable. And this is before digital. Like, this is before I could scan it and send it. I mean, I had to mail these things out and stuff. It was still a lot of work, man.
Yeah, I don't miss those days, man.
Yeah, we kissed and made up when she went over to DC. Yeah.
Yeah, I had dinner with her once.
There was some tongue.
I had dinner with her. I had a dinner with her one time where it was a Marvel dinner, and this guy named Cheryl Rhodes was there. And the thing that happened out of that dinner, I didn't get any more Marvel work, but he went to go work for High Times magazine in 2000, and they needed poster art for the Cannabis Cup of 2001. And Cheryl remembers talking to me and my love of God's green herbs, and he said, "Oh, I got a guy," and that turned into me drawing the poster art for the 2001 Cannabis Cup, flying to Amsterdam with Matt Yackey and my brother and my then wife, and having the best time I ever forgot. So thank you, Marvel, for that meal.
You know, I grew up with
There you
some friends that would call you a hero right now. Like it wasn't uncommon. It wasn't uncommon to see those magazines all over some of my friends' apartments. Yeah, high times. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Comic Book Bob says, I got a guy who can draw that sweet, sweet Kush. You know what we did? I mean, this is how crazy it was. I took an image from, because here was their thing. It was 2001: A Space Odyssey. That was their theme. And I had just happened to draw this astronaut-looking character in my book. And so all I did was add the cannabis cup and a big chunk of herb to her hand. And they're like, that's it. I didn't draw anything new. We literally, Matt and I photoshopped the cannabis cup in my character's hand, and that became the poster. So good times.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Hey, did you?
Uh-oh.
Oh, where did Archie Bear go? No, that was
No,
Andy.
I'm
Where
here.
did Andy go?
Andy,
was-
yeah.
I wish I could remember that, says Matt Yackey. Yeah, you do. You remember. You remember. I have pictures. I have a real picture from that time.
A real
I-
pic.
Yeah, no, this was what was crazy about it.
Yeah.
We arrived at the hotel, and they said, "Oh, you're Mr. Frega." Yeah. They handed me basically like a tackle box, you know, like the standard sort of tackle box, and inside this tackle box was 13 different strains of weed, labeled A through M, rolling papers, a pipe, and a checklist of what we were to do. Like, so it was, how does it smell? How does it look? How does it feel? What, you know, like all these things, rate it. And like the women all got sativas, and we all got indicas, which will knock you the heck out. The nickname for that is Inda Couch. But if you hold on for 1 second, I can show you a picture of me in the hotel room when we got there, when I just took everything out and was like, they just gave us this. 1 second. You guys carry on.
Carry on.
Carry on. I am so lucky. When I was young, I didn't have money because drugs were very easy to come by, but I was always broke. So
There you go.
it always curbed my my appetite.
Where
Dirty Fatty's
I
like,
lived
oh,
in
great
Florida.
talk.
near the Space Coast with Cocoa Beach, they had these guys would be patrolling offshore, and the dudes bringing in the marijuana would dump the bales overboard when the Coast Guard would come and raid their boats. And you always knew when it would happen because half the class was missing, especially all the surfers. They were down at the beach.
Yeah,
All the surf cats would be down at the beach, looking for bales to wash up.
I bet
Oh
you,
my God.
I bet you there was a lot of cocaine travel down there too.
Cocaine would sink though, because those are heavy.
Yeah.
Are they? I wouldn't know. I never touched the shit.
Yeah. And this was
all
in the 70s when cocaine wasn't, the thing yet.
There's
Dan
young Dick.
looks like a dealer. It's like, come
look
on,
at-
take your
you
pick.
know,
What do you want?
Matt Yackey was there. There's the evidence, the flannel, right there.
Wait a minute. Do you have a porn stash?
No, I had a goatee. I look like a cholo. But look at all that. They gave us all of that. And see
You know what
the
it
little
looked like?
checklist?
It
See
looked
the
like-
little checklist? Right
You know
there?
what
You know what the
looked
problem
like?
is?
It
You
looked
couldn't
like
take any of it home because you were flying, so you had to.
No, dude, we left. It was a teary-eyed moment how much we left on the transpo bus. We kind of wanted to gift it to somebody, so we left it there. And I was like, back in the States,
That'd be a crime scene.
it would be a crime
It
scene.
would be.
You know what's
You'd have
funny?
all evidence markers and stuff.
The way you had it all spread out there, it looked like I was flashing back to my daughter when the science fair, you know, where you have all these different things, like it's something you would smell. So you have these little
Yes.
Yeah.
little
Yes.
jars and stuff like that. So you open the lid and you smell it, and then you open the lid and smell it. That's what it looked like to me. Yeah, like a science experiment.
Yeah, dude, it was and it was the most unorganized thing I've ever been to, because everybody there, even the organizers, were blasted out of their minds. And I wish Matt Yackey was here. They gave third place the first place trophy, because you know, you go third place, this da-da-da, but the guy was high and he's like, in first place. So they gave the trophy to the third place guy when he shouldn't have. And like they'd say they gave, because we were deemed, it was a wonderful thing. They gave us money for the job. They flew us out there. They put us up. They gave us all of that cannabis, and they made Matt and myself celebrity judges. So we were part of the panel, right? So there were all of these sort of things we had to go to, press events and things, and we'd show
Right.
up and no one would be there. And they'd be like, oh, shoot. Well, yeah, well, you know, it was just a freaking mess. But it was awesome. It was awesome. It was a good time. 2001, right after 9/11, in fact.
Yeah,
It
that's
was
about the
Thanksgiving. We
time that Bobby Chase was calling me a liar.
Well, there you go.
Oh.
there it is. I was eating the McCroquets. They had in their McDonald's there had this thing called a McCroquette, and it was basically chipped beef and gravy, deep fried with gravy on it between a bun. And we were just like blown away by the McCroquette.
Why was it deep
Wow.
fried?
I'm gonna look it up. I don't know.
Was it breaded or something?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so the meat was breaded, and so they're like little McNugget things, and they'd fry them up and then put it on a bun and
There
throw
it
some.
is. I found it.
Oh, you-
And that was
Alright,
at
let's see.
McDonald's?
Yeah, this will make Matt Yackey really happy.
I don't remember that.
You guys probably ate a lot of those.
Well,
No, they weren't over here.
They were
right?
not over here.
Right.
See, so this is the McCroquette. And so you could see from this picture that it's like chipped beef with gravy and stuff, and then it's battered and fried, and then gravy on top of it. So it's gravy, beef, and whatever. But this is.
But is it like a beef patty? Like they would put the chipped beef into
You got a
like
picture of it?
What do you? Oh, I'm not showing it. Thank you.
No.
Thank you. Thank you.
horrible.
I'm having my boomy moment. Thank you. I'm like looking at all the lovely
You're
pictures.
not a
Yeah, we're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, here's the McCroquette right here.
so it is like a patty. Okay, so it's like
It's a
chipped
patty, but it's chipped. Like you could see, it's like chunky
Beef.
chipped beef with
Inside.
gravy
Oh,
and
fried.
whatnot. Yeah, see, look at this world famous.
Is that like a
McCroquette.
white sausage gravy?
It's
That's what it
a, I don't. It could be mayonnaise. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't read Dutch, but it's the Winterfloepen in the Netherlands McCroquette.
In the McNetherland McCroquette.
Look at this thing. Look how beautiful it is. Hey, you know what? When they say Met der Verruken McDonald's schmack, I'm in. You
Schmack.
know? Yeah, that's the kind of schmack that I'll take. You know,
Now, do they still sell them over there?
I'm sure they do. I mean, I just
I was gonna
typed
say,
in
you
and
should
there
get it.
was.
Get one freeze dried sent over, whatever it's called.
Yeah. What
Yeah,
did McDonald's try to do? Like
Dry ice.
the McPizza?
Sorry, old fatty.
Did they do a McPizza?
They did. It was called. Oh, McPizza. Yeah, dude, they did all kinds of stuff.
Oh my!
Taco
Oh,
Bell,
McPizza? That was over here
Yeah,
too.
Yeah, they had spaghetti at a certain point as well.
Spaghetti. Oh my!
Dude, we could do a whole show on this. We're gonna wrap it up here soon. They want us to
Yeah.
talk about comics.
Hey, we can talk comics. Did you guys see? So DC's doing this thing called Absolute DC. It's their new thing. Have you guys seen the Batman? What it looks like?
No. Oh
Show
yeah,
it.
yeah. It's like listen, I have to backtrack. Sometimes I say, yeah, I love cartoonists, but when I saw that image, the first thing I thought was they're trying too hard.
pull it up,
All
Andy.
right, I'll share it.
Yeah, please pull it
I'll
up.
share it.
Yeah, there you go. Death Metal Hero says Orlando still does the spaghetti in
You know what,
McDonald's.
Luke? You know what, Luke, and to everybody listening, my wife makes the best spaghetti sauce in the world. I cannot eat spaghetti at the finest of the Italian restaurants.
That's how it's supposed to work.
Hold up, man.
That's how
So
it's
whenever
supposed
anybody
to work.
comes over to the house, it's always, oh shit, I did see this. Yeah, this is
What?
Yeah, it's
What, did he have his head shrunk?
no. It's like the thing I don't like about it is like when I looked at Frank Miller's, it felt very authentic to me. And I
Right.
can't. This is me maybe putting my own thoughts on this because I can't judge this human to human. I can't judge this, but when I look at it, it looks like Bad Tim Sale with Frank Miller proportions. He wants to have his own bat. Whoever did this, I hate it when people are like, "This is my way of doing the bat."
Where's the
You know,
bat?
that big chunky square on his chest.
Yeah.
Again, where's the bat?
There you go. And yeah, I
And the
just
Kelly
wanted-
Jones ears.
Yeah, it's a miss for
Yeah,
me.
it just it's I don't mind cartoony stuff either, but this just doesn't look right. It just doesn't
Yeah.
feel right,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, there has to be a consistency. You can't have that tiny little pinhead and those size 46 shoes.
Right.
His head could fit into his shoes.
Yeah.
Two of his heads.
And there's, I mean, that's the thing though. Like the guys I like, they play with proportion.
No, I see what you're saying,
Sure.
but is he going to draw Bruce Wayne like this?
Yeah.
Right.
The thing is, there has to be balance. Like the design, there has to be balance. There's not balance with this figure. So it's not so much the idea of what he was going for. It's just that the design doesn't work because there isn't a sense of balance. The head just clearly doesn't look like it works with the body.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, because it's a thick body, right? Thick and wide, but then
There
the head
needs
is
to be-
thin and narrow.
Yeah,
And-
because when
And
Frank
generally,
when Frank did him, he did a big square jaw, like a big squared
Yes.
off head. This is kind of like an elegant, like you said, like Kelly Jones kind of design, or like Neil Adams with the more slender, the long ears, things like that. And it just doesn't work because also Frank did the short, squatty ears, so it kind of worked proportionately, and the rhythm of it all worked. This does not.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's a little shop of horrors, like that. It's like, again, it felt like somebody trying really hard to go against the grain.
Yeah.
So it didn't feel natural to me. Like that Miller
Right.
image, that was visceral and it felt good. This is so posy and like symmetrical, and look at my bat, and like look at Graham, he's still trying to find the bat.
I am. I just blew up the screen and I'm still trying to find it.
It's a little pokey.
Somebody took a marker. It looks like somebody
Listen.
took a marker and just like tried to scratch out the
bat.
symbol.
The bat ate the coffin. Okay.
And look at he's got spikes all over his shoulders.
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not noticing that. Wow.
oh yeah,
It looks like the
somebody says
cape
it's
splits
AI.
in the back. It looks like the cape splits in the back, so it looks like they're more like wings. So
Yeah.
the only thing I really
Right.
like about this is it looks like they are more like bat wings. Like they kind of
That's
attach
good.
where you can grab them, and
And
they're
the
separate in the
The
back.
colors are delightful. I love
Colors
the
are good. Yeah.
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 Inks are good.
The whole
Yeah,
thing is
sure.
pretty good. I like the shadowing. I really like the shadow on the ground. I like those wings that are coming off of his hands. It's just the head size is weird, and the traps, they're like, it's just kind of rhythmically, it doesn't fit.
Yeah.
Plus, he's got like these. Looks like these long boxer shorts, practically.
I think it's because the
Yeah.
belt is up high on his abdomen.
No, but across his right thigh. Look at how far down it goes. It seems like.
I think it's a shadow.
You think there's a
Yeah,
shadow?
but it's not.
Yeah.
following
I don't
the
know. I
contour of
can't
the arm.
tell.
Hmm.
It could.
And
You know
then
what?
I'll just
It could
scroll
be
down.
because the other side has like a line too.
And this is the new
Well, but
Wonder
then
Woman.
if you couldn't really cross them over because there's Wonder Woman who looks,
All
normal.
tatted up.
Normal.
Yeah.
There's
and
nothing
then-
iconic looking about that.
There's the Superman.
Oh,
Yeah, that doesn't
Why
do
is
much
he?
for
Why
me.
is he got that distended belly like that?
What is that? Yeah, something's pulling it down.
Yeah. Why is his wrist things glowing? I mean, what?
Who knows? This might be in this day and age. It's so difficult. You know how much of it's AI. Like people are generating AI images and painting over them, and and they're just being different for different sake. You know.
Yeah, this image does look like AI to me.
Yeah.
Well, that would be weird because I know this guy's does a lot of stuff for DC, and it's Rafa Sandoval,
Sandoval. Yeah.
and he draws. I mean, everything I've seen of his looks, hand drawn
Hey, maybe
and
maybe
stuff.
Bobby
Wait,
Chase is his
scroll
editor.
scroll back.
Bobby Chase.
Okay, look at this. This Superman has no
Hold on, let's
family,
hide
no
that.
fortress of solitude, and no home. Will he still stand for truth, justice, and a better tomorrow?
Oh my gosh. How about the American way?
Yeah, well, we
knows?
know what happened there.
Nerdy
Well, and then we
Musings,
have,
my
let's
man,
see.
the Bionic Fregaboom. I hope you're feeling well. Looking forward to have you on the show soon. Yes. And when he says huge fan of all the professionals, Andy's first How to Draw book is still one of the best.
Oh, thank you.
This is my man, who is he is a jiu-jitsu champion teacher. Also does competitive arm wrestling.
Oh, wow.
He just posted a picture where I swear his biceps are bigger than my thighs. That's not saying much because I got little chicken legs, but this man has got major freaking power.
Wow.
Nerdy Musings podcast. You guys follow it if you get a chance. I'm going to be on their show.
Yeah, it's cool.
I love this guy. Love his show. Even got the old T-shirt from the old show. It's a good time.
Cool.
Yeah, if you like my book, drop me a line. I'll go on. Read what it says about Absolute Wonder Woman. For Diane, there's no island paradise, no sisterhood to shape her. No, it's hard to read because I'm looking at the
Nor a
small screen.
mission
Hold
of
on.
peace. So, what is the purpose of an
you
Amazon
go.
warrior in this new universe?
So is their whole thing they take away their foundations and they're supposed to be different? What does Batman
Yeah, well,
say?
Batman, in this iteration, fans will be introduced to a version of the Dark Knight that doesn't have the money, mansion, or butler
Okay,
of
so
his
it's
core line counterpart.
thematically they have taken things from them.
Mhm.
Bro
Right.
Huck! What's up, brethren? Good to see you.
Bro,
Really great to see you. Listen, we got 555 people watching. We've been going for an hour and 50 minutes. This is a wonderful numbers. If you're enjoying the professionals, know that this is a rotating show. Every one of us has a YouTube channel, which you would love to subscribe to. Every one of us has a Twitter that you would love to subscribe to. And generally speaking, we go in alphabetical order. Today, I'm taking over for Billy because Billy is out in San Diego. But you're watching the professionals and you're having a good time. So smash that like, share it out. We appreciate you.
Yes,
That's right.
Yes, indeed.
Let's close out. We got 10 more minutes. Let's have one more question, and best question wins. Best question wins.
A competition.
Best question wins what?
Us covering it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah. No.
Comic Book Bob says in the chat, he goes, Superman looks like Ezra Miller.
Ezra.
He does.
What up, Prater7? Good to see you.
Hey, bro, respect my pronouns, bro.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Best question wins us. I guess. Your best.
Come home with you. We come home and do all your chores for a day.
Whoa. Hey, speak for yourself.
Well, I'm not going to lose, so
I'll tell you what. I'm really good at redoing people's wiring systems. Like if your computer cabling and with all your stuff is a mess, or your home audio video system is a mess because you've been plugging in all the HDMIs and all that shit, I could go back there, streamline it, zip tie it, make it beautiful for you. Because I like to, you know.
I
but
think
if you-
art can fix your pool pump.
Yeah. Well, it's fixed now, but
Oh.
yeah. But what I'm saying is I can't. I could not build you a sawhorse.
Ah,
Sad. You know, I usually bend the nail or strip a screw or some shit happens. But when it comes to putting all that stuff together, I can do it with my eyes closed. Here we go. In your opinion, why are this is a great question, and this is the one I'm gonna go for because it's a great.
it's a
great
pretty simple answer though.
Yeah, I think we'll all have the same answer too.
We might not. We might
Oh,
not. We might
oh.
not.
Okay.
I'll answer last for sure but I think my answer is different. Andy, what do you think?
I think it's twofold. I think the companies don't want them to, for one, and because then they could become, I don't know if powerful is the right word, but they could become the person of the book. You know, so companies are like, do your 5-6 issues. Let's shuffle you to something else.
Instagram. Just keep talking. I'm going to keep pointing.
No, I think that's one. I think that's part of it. I think that's it, because it wasn't why don't more artists do a monthly book, because that's a different question.
That's
a different answer. Because with a monthly book, I think the amount of work expected now is just takes its toll on the artist compared to when I started doing a monthly book when I got in 91, 92, and then even in the 80s and back it up, more than that. But I think more than anything now, companies don't want artists doing a long run on a book. Yeah.
He hit my answer right on the head. And so did Andy. But mine was
I think the designs,
Comics.
the character designs are a lot more complex now than they were.
Look at Captain America's boot.
Yeah, there's a lot more work that has to go into it. And I really do agree, Andy. I think the number one is they don't want superstars. I think the Image days, they took a lot of notes. They don't want to get burned, so they don't want to create the next Jim Lee. They don't want to create the next Todd McFarlane. So, and most of those guys like Joe Quesada, who was in charge at Marvel, and Jim Lee, they know the drill. Because they were superstars, they came up the ranks, so they know what to look for. So one of the things you do to become very successful is you have to have a good run, a memorable run on a book. And if they can stop you from doing that, then you really don't have a chance to establish a name and a following. I was doing monthly books, like when I went back to DC after getting canned from Marvel and doing animation for a couple of years. When I went back, and I would do conventions maybe 2 or 3 years into my second DC run, there would be people at conventions that's like, where have you, what are you working on? What are you doing? They wouldn't know. And I'm like, they were like, did you just leave? And I'm like, well, I did a couple of years ago, but I've been back for the last 3 years doing monthly books. I said, we haven't seen any of them, because they're bouncing you around on all these different titles and stuff. And so I was like, there you go. There's the proof right there. They don't want the next Jim Lee, and they don't want the next Joe Quesada.
We'll have a bonus question after Graham handles this one.
There's not much more to say. Everything's been covered there. So I'll take this one first.
Do it.
I would say Dan Mora.
Really?
Yeah, Dan's great.
Yeah,
I think Jorge Jimenez is really good too.
In a very heroic way, in a classical way. There seems to be a love and reverence for the characters. He can draw really good. So that would be my pick.
Dan Mora.
I can see that. Dan is really. I think the thing with Dan that just upsets me is I think he's mostly computer or digital, and I'm like, oh, no originals, because he's a guy that if he's gotten so popular, if he did originals, they'd probably be out of my price range. But he's a guy who I discovered back when he was doing Klaus for IDW, the whole Santa Claus thing with Grant Morrison almost a decade ago. And then he did Power Rangers stuff. And I remember buying the Power Rangers stuff thinking, I would love to see this guy draw mainstream superheroes. And there you go. Years later.
Yeah. My answer would be another Daniel Warren Johnson. I love that guy's stuff. And I love what he did on Beta Ray Bill. And I like his sensibilities. You know, that he kind of simplifies things down. I think he would dial things back to what we're talking about. Like instead of Captain America having 30-eye Doc Martin boots, he's going back to the whatever you call those Buccaneer boots. Like I think,
I think Chris Samney could do a really nice job too. Chris's stuff is really simplified. Alex Tothe, great.
Yeah, but he's talking about designing the whole DC, like
that's true.
DC line. I don't think he'd be right for that.
I would love to see Jim Lee do it. Wait a minute.
No.
Wait a minute. Go back 12 years.
He's already done it.
Hey, Unintelligent Design, how you doing there? Our Aussie friend Liam, he says, thanks for the show, guys. Everyone, if you haven't back, Dino King, packing books to ship as we speak. It's like daylight way down under, right?
You know what? Blue Boy said Ryan Otley. Ryan Otley could be interesting to see.
Ryan Otley's so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them just go back to some of the original designs. I think that, like retro cool, drawn in a modern style, but like
that's exactly it. Yeah.
Well, that's what I was thinking of when I said more. Not reinventing the wheel, but drawing, because he draws the original design so well, and they look so great under his pen, and with the colors that they add to it, stuff looks like classic comics, only more modern, and I think it'd be great.
It's kind of like when they took the Camaro, right, and they like reissued it. So it's kind of the same body style, or not the newest Mustangs, but when they first
the lines, 2004.
Yeah, but it's got more like current sensibilities, but it's basically the same design. So I think that would be neat to see, like what you were saying, Graham, bring back like those original designs, but just kind of have a little bit of a 2000s feel to it.
Honestly,
some of them don't need any change, like Superman. Superman doesn't need any change
to do it all.
No.
Yeah, I want to find out Dan Mora's story. That's the I love hearing people's lineage of what got them to where they're going, because I've heard nothing but good things about Dan Mora. I've seen a few images of his and been like, oh, these are great. No, somebody did, Bro Hawk. You just weren't there to hear it.
David Williams. What did you did you turn the volume down when we said that?
He must have. You could hit rewind.
You know what? He just wanted to hear it again.
Oh,
you guys, Dave Bro Hawk Williams redesigned a Spider-Man suit that is epic and has been used, and he has finally got credit for it. He really does love comics as well.
Hey, who redesigned the 2099 Spider-Man suit? Was that Rick Leonardi?
I think it was Leonardi.
I would think he did the book.
I kind of dug that. I thought that looked pretty.
It's a good one. It's a good, definitely a good one.
Yeah, Leonardi would be a good choice too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not even.
I mean, out of all those 2099 books, Leonardi did if it was Rick that did it, which I assume it was. I mean, his was the best out of all the 29 stuff.
You know who I would love to
stuff from back then.
I'm sorry to talk over you, but Dave Cockrum, I thought Dave, he didn't get a lot of credit in the day.
No, he didn't.
But man, when you think about the amount of design work that guy threw out there in the comics industry, and the ripple effects of all those designs to this day is pretty amazing. And most people don't even know who he is.
Him and Romita. Well, the problem, I think, is that he had people come after him that did they took what he did and made it look slicker and cooler, because
Mhm.
like I was introduced to Cockrum after I saw Byrne stuff, and it
Right.
was like a not as appealing version of those designs. Even he could be the guy who designed them, but Byrne had done such a good polish and with Terry Austin and all that, that he took those designs and overshadowed the idea of the guy who came up with them.
Yeah, once again, like what we were talking about, like the design, and then there's the recreation of the design with a different style over it. So the design is sound. Also, like, wasn't Dave Cockrum the guy that redesigned the Legion of Superheroes before he went over to the X-Men?
He
Like,
may
that's,
have, I don't know.
that's bullshit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Between
The
him
first
and
time I ever saw Cockrum was when he was doing backup stories for Captain Marvel Jr. At DC, and it looked like Mac Rayboy type stuff. It was freaking amazing. Didn't look anything like his Marvel stuff.
Wow.
Did you guys ever see that? The Captain Marvel Jr. by Cockrum?
I don't think so.
No.
Wasn't he assisting Murphy Anderson at that time? Isn't that how he got in? Because he was Murphy's assistant?
That would make a lot of sense.
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
I'd have to go. Tomorrow's put out a book about Dave, and I read it a few years ago, so I have to go back and reread it. But I think that's what it was. So I think that's how he got into DC. He was assisting Murph, and then Murphy, showed him around and stuff, and
Right.
that's how he got in.
Sounds about right.
But Dave was great.
You can see the style influence for sure in
Oh yeah,
work. Yeah.
yeah. Because I want to say, did Murphy ink some Dave stuff back then? I think he might have, or maybe Dave inked Murph. Now I don't remember. Dave did some nice inking over at Marvel and some Avengers stuff over Buscema, Don Heck, Bob Brown.
I'll say one that a guy that could at least shake up the designs. Andy, guess who I'm going to say? Who could shake it all up?
Shake it all up? Yeah.
Rob Liefeld.
Are you going to say Rob?
Yeah, shake it all up.
Rob?
Yes.
Rob, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, well, no, but I think Rob would. I think he has a big, gigantic love for the characters, and he just has a great commercial sense. He just has it. I think he
could take the main characters, let's say the Trinity at DC, and change them, but still keep them classic. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes. And then he
just little things,
because Youngblood was supposed to be Teen Titans. You know what I'm saying? Like, and when you go, oh my God, when that hits you, you go, fuck, that would have been the coolest Teen Titans,
And that's when you realize that Shaft, the design for Shaft, is way cooler than Speedy or Green Arrow.
That's
ever
right.
were.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So, but that I'd give him that love. What do you got here, Graham?
This is Dave Cockrum doing Captain Marvel Jr.
Let's take a look. Whoa.
Oh,
this is way before Marvel stuff, huh?
Well, it's before Legion, I think, isn't it?
Wow.
I think it's like 1974.
Yeah.
I've worked with Elliot Maggin and had no idea he went this far back. That is
cool.
Oh
yeah, he goes back to the early 70s.
Good guy.
Yeah, here's another one.
He's a Superman guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is great stuff.
Yeah, this is great.
This is
God, I would love to have seen him draw actual Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the casual karate chop, that last panel.
Yeah.
It's an afterthought. I'll just take it right down as he's
I'm gonna look the other way while I whack this guy.
Yeah. That's such a Dave Cockrum face, though. Like, that is so Dave on that guy in that last panel.
Who's inking this stuff? Is it
he
Dave
is?
inking
He
himself?
is.
I think he did.
I prefer this over his X-Men work.
Yeah.
I like it when he inked himself.
A little heavy-handed, I thought. This is much more subtle.
Yes. That's what I like about it. There's a lot of line variety, thicks and thins and very thins. Wow.
Yeah, it was a little bolder, the Marvel stuff.
Mhm.
There you go. How Comics says, if you don't want to draw laces, Bruce Timm keeps it classic. That's true.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
true.
I think Bruce Timm could redesign some DC stuff.
He's a hard guy to translate, though. You know what I mean? Like if he designed it's like there were guys that did designs that were successful, and then there were
Mhm.
guys who did designs that were not. You know, so Mignola did designs for stuff, and they went over very well. Kevin
Yeah.
Nolan, as you know, did stuff for Batman animated. Those went
Oh,
over
yeah.
very well. Michael Golden did a bunch of designs that did not. And he's my favorite, but they were too busy, and you would have to be a psychopath to be able to stay on model for an issue. You know.
Hey Dan, what if we got Jeff Matsuda in there and redesigned? Like that would be
That's
pretty cool.
yes,
Dude, I loved
yes.
Jeff Batman stuff, the animated stuff he designed.
Yes.
That stuff was
Jeff's
awesome.
fantastic. Yeah.
That guy's way outside
Man.
the box, but it always works. Like it always feels organic and it always works.
Jeff has been great since day one. When the day he came to the studio, everybody was trying to emulate pieces of him, including myself. Guys, we've been going for 2 hours and 8 minutes. We got 580 people watching. I'm gonna close us down. It's been a wonderful episode of Chill Stream on the Professionals, where I've been your host. We can go around the horn talking about our books or whatever you want to talk about. Andy Smith, tell us what you got.
Oh, like it says below my name, Cordrat the Awakening. Go back it now. Almost at 50K mark for the first stretch goal. And yeah, go check it out. I'm going to go with, there's the link right there, and it's probably in the description below.
It is.
Dan. So
It
there
is.
you go.
I did it.
So yeah, go back it. If you like high adventure fantasy barbarian stuff, you will dig Cordrat.
And listen, we've been talking art this whole time. Not Artie Bear. We always talk Artie Bear. But we've been just talking about art and just technique and stuff. Man, I've got the Cordrat, the first issue in black and white. I backed it on that level as well. And dude, the art is such a treat. Just flipping through the pages and the amount of work you put into those. I highly recommend you guys, even if you're not a fan of fantasy, but you like really great art, go buy this book.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you. So go check it out.
Artie Bear, what you got? Oh wait, here's Artie Bear. Boom. Let's show what we got.
There it is.
Are you sharing
Duels, baby? Yeah, I got it. It's
Yeah.
up.
Let me play the video. I just got this from Shant. Thank you for putting this together.
Artie Bear's Oodles of Doodles and Other Stuff Too is a 60-page, 9x12 hardbound book that will be printed on thick glossy stock paper and is a compilation of artwork from award-winning artist Artie Bear. This book is filled with images that come from Art's Marvel, DC, Image, and Comicsgate work. That includes convention doodles, commissions, creator-owned IPs, and pop culture subjects that Art has brought to life with his masterful draftsmanship. Artie Bear's signature style is both lyrical and meticulously realized. The mastery of craft, seen in his work, owes itself to his 40 years in the comic industry, as well as viewing life through his own love of the art form itself. Fans of art prints have the opportunity to back one or both of the mini print tiers. Both are stunning collections of work that you can back individually or together as a bundle. Artie Bear's Oodles of Doodles and Other Stuff Too. Back it now on Indiegogo.
Yeah, you guys, this book also comes signed and numbered. So every book will be signed and numbered. And it's a beautiful hardcover book, you guys. It will print up gorgeous. This is the second printing. So the first print run completely sold out. So you guys demanded it. I brought it back. And this will be with a twist, though. So this version will have new interior pages, such as these two right here. We got some pop culture stuff there. We got some Comicsgate characters in there. There's a Mike Mignola Gigantor that I did inks and wash over. I was very happy with the way that thing came out.
Beautiful.
Some early Marvel stuff from my Cable run, and some of my animation design work that I put together for different shows. and then of course Billy Tucci's She. We have some cool prints that you can back. So we have Del Keone's Pit. We have the set. Oh, well, we have the 11 by 17 Juju, which is a commemorative print for the 30th anniversary, which will be this October, will be 30 years for Black and White.
Incredible.
And so then thank you. We got set A, we got set B that comes with the book signed and numbered. And also we have a head sketch tier. This is the new designs, the 30th anniversary. So this is for the new series. The new series will have these new black and white power suit designs. So this is the first I've really drawn of these characters. So I'll draw those on the flyleaf. If you'd like, I can do black separate, white separate, or I can do them both together. And then, of course, we have some commissions here, completely sold out of the commissions. So that will not be happening. So maybe I'll bring some of those. Maybe I'll bring some of those back. You guys have asked about them, especially the 11 by 17 tier. But other than that, I want to thank you guys so much for supporting this campaign, backing this campaign. We're entering into our 4th week on this campaign, and come by if you like what you see, give it a backing. And this book is pretty much done. The files are ready to go. I'm going to add some new pages to it. But this book, as soon as the campaign is over, it's going out. It's a 60-day campaign. So as soon as it's done, the book is going to the printer. And this should be, I mean, things happen, come out and start shipping before Christmas. So if you're looking for a Christmas present for a loved one that's a comic book fan, then this is the book for you. So thank you, Dan. Thank you guys for indulging me in this pitch.
Of course. And Graham, this image I'm seeing back there, it's my first time seeing it. I'm seeing it this big, but it's powerful. Talk to me. Talk to me.
Well, Joe Frankenstein Part 3, the Eye of Ra. The live campaign closed, but it's in demand, so you can still get it.
You tell me when to hit the button, and I'll hit the button.
Okay, well, it's because we just hit the 100,000 K mark. That is the next stretch goal level. So everybody's going to get this mini print.
Puzinga.
Share it.
Dude, that's badass.
Yeah.
Nice.
I love when peril is in the hands. I dig that theme every time.
Yeah, that German expressionism, you know.
Yeah, well, it seems like our world today, you know.
Yeah, right.
It's crazy.
Yeah, the marionette.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Nornrad. Yeah, there's the link.
Nornrad's been on top. Thank you so much.
Go get it. You order the book today, and you're going to get the mini print, even though it's for everybody now. You know, that's the thing about crowdfunding is the better the project does, the better it is for everybody, because as you hit those stretch goals, everybody gets them. So the guy who comes in and is bidder number 1 or backer number 1, you know, he's getting the book. But by the time you get to, you know, backer 500, now backer number 1 and backer 499 through 500 are getting the print, the trading card, the bookmark, and so on and so on. So this is doing very well. And this is the next stretch goal level. And now every backer is going to get this print.
Fantastic. I like how you kind of knocked back the line art where the behind the hands where the chest of the mummy guy is.
Right.
That's really nice, man. It's subtle, but it really is effective.
Is that Greg Wright? Who is that?
Yeah, that's Greg Wright.
Man, hey, I want to give if you don't mind, Graham, I want to give Greg Wright big love. He's been around for a long time. Marvel guy, colored a lot of the McFarlane Spider-Man stuff. Colored me on Spectacular Spider-Man. He's been around a long time and an incredible artist on his own. So big respect.
Good guy.
Good guy. Flowers today.
Yeah.
Flowers today, Greg. You're awesome.
Yep. Greg has colored all my Joe books. He did Alien Alamo. He did Ghost of Metacumba Key. He did the 12-issue Bane Conquest series. So he did a spectacular Spider-Man book that I had illustrated.
You did a Spidey?
I've done a bunch of Spideys, yeah.
Oh, Graham, you got to send me those. Spider-Man's my favorite character. I got to see. I got to see how you handle him.
Oh, I also did the Batman Spider-Man DC book. Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah.
Figures. I need to get them. I'm writing that down. I got all
And
these.
John
things.
Romita personally told me how much he loved that book.
Really? That much? How did that feel?
Oh my God. Quick story here, because I don't want to hold us up.
No, this is not holding us up. I want to hear this. This is everybody wants to hear this.
I was at San Diego Comic-Con, and I was at the DC booth, and I was signing stuff. We had a pretty big line, and Chuck Dixon came up to me and he said, "Hey, John Romita just came back. I think he did a panel or something, and he's sitting down at his table." And I said, "Oh, okay." And so, I got up and I went over, and there was a line there already. So I waited in line. And when I finally got up to him, I put my hand out. I said, "Mr. Romita, I have to tell you, my name's Graham Nolan. I'm a huge fan. You've been a huge influence on my career." And he looks at me and he goes, "Graham Nolan, the artist?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Oh, I love that Batman Spider-Man book you did." I'm like,
Dude,
I can die now.
"Yeah,
No,
I can
dude,
die now. I told him that. I said, I can retire. I can
Hey,
retire
dude.
now."
There you go.
I wouldn't need weed that day. I would be so high. On
I
that.
know, right?
I'd just be like,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. So Chuck
Man.
was standing there with a camera and took a picture of us.
Oh yeah. Is
Yeah.
it framed on your wall? Do you have it?
I do have it. Hold on.
I need to see this. This has got
That's
to be great.
that's cool.
Here you go.
Man. Oh, here. Let's see. Look at young Graham.
I know.
That's 1997, I think. Yeah, 1997.
Wow.
That's incredible. I never got to meet him, man.
What's that background? It looks all high tech.
Yeah. Looks like
Yeah.
Star Trek or something.
Looks
What
like
is
Star
that?
I think it was part of a booth.
Okay.
Yeah.
It could be a Marvel booth that was back there. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah,
I
looks
wasn't
very-
looking at anything other than JR.
I like that you guys look like you're dressed like twins. Like you got the same.
I know.
I know.
shoe,
We
same
got the
bag.
beard and the glasses and everything. I could be a
The
son.
watches, if you and the tags are just off, they're opposite. So you guys
Yeah,
are
yeah.
twinsies.
Yeah, it's like a mirror image.
It's great.
Yeah, that's pretty
It's
cool.
Mirror Universe.
That's you
Man.
in well, I was gonna say in 30 years, but that's you now.
Yeah, it's a little closer. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only picture I got with a great Art to Bear has, and I'm coming out of Kurt Hathaway's pants. I photobombed that.
You
Jack Kirby
photobombed my
picture.
Jack Kirby photo, you bum.
It's the only
You
photo I
son
have.
of a-
It's the only photo that Jack and I are in together because we weren't thinking like that back in the day. We weren't like, get a picture
know.
with me. I need a selfie. And we weren't thinking that. We were so immersed in the experience. So when it was time to take a picture, yeah, of course I jumped out of Kurt Hathaway's pants.
Yeah. All the cool stuff in my past, I never thought it was cool to be that guy with the camera, So I
Now you
never
regret it.
documented
Yep.
anything because I didn't want to be that guy, Now
Same
I
here.
pictures all the time.
Well, it wasn't easy then too, because you had to have a camera. Today, you have your phone anyway.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
finish the
develop
picture,
it.
man. Boom, boom, boom. Video.
Yeah,
I have pictures from the day because I had a lot of those. Remember the Kodak disc? I had a
oh,
bunch
yeah,
of
yeah.
those in the Instamatics. I took a lot of photos, but I didn't get any with those folks, and never got to meet Buscema. Didn't get to meet John Sr. I saw Mobius with my eyes and said, "Don't ruin it. Don't even talk to him." And I did the same thing with Frazetta. No, because those guys, like Jack, didn't scare me. Jack was so warm and welcoming. I had to go see Jack. I had to. When you see Frank Frazetta, you're like, he's gonna say, "Get the fuck away from me, kid." You know what I'm saying? And what are you gonna say that he hasn't heard?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Oh, you're so amazing. You were blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna gush all over you. Anyhow, this is a great photo, Graham. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I was- A couple years before that, at the same convention, I met Kirby, but I didn't have a camera, so I didn't get to get a picture with him.
Yeah, I never got to meet him.
Look at how happy you are, Graham.
Oh yeah, I'm beaming. I am beaming.
Oh,
man.
dude, you can tell. You can tell. You just got blessed.
You know what was cool? There's things that happen in life and they just seem so random. And then you reflect back and you think like it was almost like divine, like somebody gave this information to you just to help you out in the future. And I did. I was very, very fortunate to go out to dinner with Ramita Sr. and his wife. And I remember him telling me, because we were talking about his son, Junior, and he was saying that he never asked me anything. He never asked me like, how do you draw this or how do you do that? And he said it seemed like he always wanted to be independent of what this thing was. So he always kind of worked on his own. And so Smash Cut, I have a daughter. She's interested in art. She's got her degree. She paints and she does all this stuff. And I remember like she right there, right in the next room. I had plenty of room in the studio. I had drawing boards and stuff like that. She never went in and worked with me. And she very, very rarely asked for any advice. And
I'm
then
right there with you, Harrison. I'm in the same spot right now with Harrison.
And when she would ask, like stupid dad, I would over explain, right? So then I just see it glaze over and then, like it would go nowhere. So then what I started doing is like if she would ask or something like that, I would just find an anatomy book or I would find an exercise or something that would illustrate what it was. Mm-hmm. And then I would put Post-its in it. And so when she was off at school, I just sat it on her bed. You know what I mean? Like I didn't even have the conversation with her. Yeah. And so I remember all that stuff because of what Johnny Ramita told me, because it's like, don't push it. Don't feel like off put by it or anything like that. Just kind of let it be what it was. And
Art,
that's why I did.
I have to tell you right now.
My daughter's the same way. She went to SCAD and, she almost hardly ever asked me for advice or help.
Art, you've mentioned this story before about how your daughter never asked you. And I've ran into the same thing with Harrison. He loves drawing comics. He rejects anytime I go, oh, hey, man, like I was trying to teach him how to staple and paginate. He's like, I do it my way, like, okay, and I remember I literally was like Art Bear, and I didn't realize it was like a lineage of Leave Him Alone.
Yeah.
Right.
That's interesting.
And then you look back, like now I look back and I go, oh my gosh, there's so much I could have taught her because I see it in her work, and I'm like, oh, the composition, I still feel like I want to be that dad and go like, well, look at this, do this,
of course,
think about this, all that stuff. But I don't. I just bite my tongue. I let it be what it is.
The thing that drives me crazy, and it's hard to bite your tongue because when I was a kid, thank God I had my grandpa, who was a big fan of Andrew Loomis and Betty Edwards, and he actually took the famous art school. I have all of his books and his correspondence, which is really cool, But when I was Harrison's age, I craved somebody that had any gleam of a comic book knowledge, and I'm like, here I am, and he's like, I don't want you.
Not you, Dad.
Not you. You're gross. What do you
got, Dan, I'm sharing my daughter's painting. So this is from
incredibly good, man.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot.
She paints kind of like Wyeth, like kind of it's like there's this undertone of darkness or sorrow to her work.
There's a lot of pain.
Yeah.
Yeah. But dude, look at the work on the cobble. The cobble down there is incredible. I mean, obviously the figure is wonderful, but she's terrific. You did great, Art.
That's great.
Thanks. Yeah, really, I like that. The one hand that's in the foreground looks pretty cool.
Yeah. Going up around her back there is really cool. Well done.
And there's one thing she doesn't do, like instinctively, she doesn't do faces. So like all of her paintings, there'll be like a side of a face or like behind or something like that. She really doesn't do profiles or faces. And there's part of me that wants to say, you got to do faces because that's what people identify with. That's where they make the connection. And
Yo,
she's like, no.
no, she's brilliant. Did you guys ever see The Little Prince or read the book The Little Prince?
I know of it, yeah.
Okay, well, this little boy, the little prince, this guy crashes in the desert, and the boy wants the perfect sheep, right? Like the best sheep ever. Can you draw me a sheep? You know, and the guy draws him a sheep. He's like, oh, he's too big, and draws him another one. Oh, he's too small, But then he draws a box with holes in it. So, and he's like, that's perfect. He's like, your sheep is inside this box and those holes are there so it could breathe. It's the best sheep ever. It's like this moment. And you go, no, your daughter's onto something, because when you do this, that if you show the face, that face is giving the person the message. When you don't show the face, the person viewing it is giving part of the message, and it hits deeper because there's participation,
Yeah, it's more psychological. It's like
yes.
you got to bring yourself into the work. And yeah, I mean, I think, like I tell her, it's like you just got to find your own voice, and if that's what you're doing, then that's going to be your voice. And then you just have to find the audience, that's the hardest thing, is to find the audience.
Not for me. My kid doesn't draw, so
all my kids draw. I don't know. I don't want it to be like nepotism-y or whatever. When they're ready, they're ready. My kids draw just the way they want to draw and do their thing. We've been going now for 2.5 hours. We still have 580 people watching. Man, this has been a fantastic episode of The Professionals. Unfortunately, we have to wrap it up. I'm working on your book, Black Flag. I didn't get to talk to you about that. I have a campaign. It is also in the description. It's called Black Flag. Read the updates. Some people have some questions. Get your oodles and doodles. Get your Joe Frankenstein 3. And, of course, get your Chordrath right there.
Yes.
My man. Thank you, everybody. I think next week Billy Tucci is going to be taking over. I'm not sure what his thing's going to be, but you've been watching and hanging out with us, bros. And I see you, Graham. We will be closing this out. I have a question for the people in the chat. Are you guys good with going out with some bacon? Because I am. I think it's bacon time.
Let's get